Keep going, keep going, keep going.
Shout out Mr. Wild Up.
Keep going, keep going, keep going.
He ain't been here in a minute.
I know.
Keep going,
I hit
keep
him
going,
up.
keep going, keep going, keep going.
www.lovethenumberjanradio.com. It's Friday. Rillos is back. It's going down. Speaking of the labs, shout out to Mr. Cornelius White. He actually started the open mic back up at the Zumbarrel. It's called Belly Labs.
Hey, what happened to the other open mic? He's done over there.
No. He does it. He has an open mic on Wednesday and Thursday. Corn is now full-time comedy.
Oh, really?
Mr. White, yeah, he's doing full-time comedy. So shows and bookings and stuff on the weekends. If he's available, he will do shows. Full-time comedian. I heard him say it last night on stage. So I'm like, oh man, proud of that young man.
Yeah, congratulations.
So Wednesday nights he's at the Secret Group. That's downtown, right outside of downtown, or really pretty much downtown. Right. And on Thursday he's gonna be at the Zumbarrel, which is over there on Kirkendall.
Yeah, and North Side, South Side, getting all the comedians
both
together.
places every week.
Okay, y'all make sure y'all go check it out.
And I believe he hosts every other week at the Secret Group. So if you see him, and then the next week he might not be hosting, but he will be performing. And then that next week he'll be hosting again. So continue to support him. Hopefully more shows and stuff coming up real soon. Shout out to all the comics that came through last night. What's crazy is I was just going to support. Now the sign up is 8:15 at the Zumbarrel. The comedy pretty much starts at 9:00. So from that point on, Corn is doing his thing and hosting. I got there a little late, and it was a pretty good vibe. He let me go up. I went up on stage. I don't think I did any. I did one old joke, but for the most part, I was just trying out a bunch of new material and seeing how to work. And the crowd was very receptive. So make sure you get back there. I think he's on to something, and he really got it going over there. So make sure you get out there and support him each and every week. And he actually gave me some stage time. He gave me I don't know how much time he gave me. I was just up there doing my thing, and when I said, "Hey, I'm about to get up out of here," one more joke, he pretty much let me come down. So, and another reason I brought that up, I got booked for 2 more shows just based upon
your performance on that moment.
Just bullshitting around at the open mic. So you never know who's watching.
Right.
Now, one of them was a guy that I used to work with prior in the past, and we hadn't seen each other perform in a couple of years. And he was like, "Oh yeah, I got a gig for you." Okay. And then another one was just a random person I was talking to. It was like, "Hey man, this was funny. That was funny. I got an event I want you to do." So yeah, it was great. 2 bookings. Shout out to Mr. White, man.
Yeah, at least you can get you some shows. Let's make sure you did. Oh, my bad. Sorry.
Another thing too. Hold on.
He's thirsty.
Thirsty. I don't know how often much sports you watching, but I've been watching a lot of basketball. We just had the Olympics finish. Shout out to the United States. We finished first in gold medals and overall medals on the last day. But I've been watching a lot of basketball, and it looks like we have a lot of great talent coming into the NBA. Now, most of the time, like in years past, you'd have a couple players here or there that, may be okay, or some that had potential and some that needed a lot of work, but they'll be great eventually. This year, they got a lot of great players just off the rip.
Probably because they got them straight from the high school.
Now, the Rockets actually drafted a player from the G League. And a couple teams got players from overseas and stuff like that. But it's actually like a lot of good players. Like it's going to be a lot of great players in 7 or 10 years, as long as everybody stay healthy. Then also we got football season coming up. Lovey, do you have a football team you cheering for this year?
No, because I used to. Never mind. I used to have a team, but the way that they do stuff now, it's like you can't really have teams. You can just have players that you enjoy watching play. And now you can't even do that because exactly. Oh. So now I just like the game itself. I don't really root for a particular. I just want to see some good football without the fuckery.
Well, naturally, I ride for the home team.
Of course.
Even though it's gonna be a struggle. Like, if I know, I can say I know we're going to lose a lot of games, and I'm cool with that. I'm still riding with the home team. It's just I'm facing the facts. I'm not going to sit up here like the Cowboys fans do for, some years, like they have the greatest team in the world, and the team just might not be good that year. They might have 3 good players, but they run around like they're going to win a championship.
Right.
Y'all riding too hard for y'all city. Just keep it real. That's what we do here on Real Rillos. If your team ain't good, just say, hey, my team ain't going to be shit this year. Now, we've been saying it for like 15 years here in Houston about the Texans, but eventually we're going to be something. I think if we go ahead and get rid of this Deshaun Watson character, the team will actually start playing because they acting like they don't really want to play with him there because they're like, man, you've been going through all this stuff and it's been a I think they playing like his distraction is why they're not as good as they are when they just not as good as they are because
They just not.
yeah, they just not. We don't have it. It's like the owner isn't focused on getting the best player. The owner's focused on getting money, right? I mean, what would you want a billionaire to focus on? How we feel about the player? How much money you gonna put in his pocket? It just is what it is. It's a different half of the business. But I'm on football because I want to talk about a story that rebroke. What's up, Kalani? Kalani on the beat in the back. A story that broke again yesterday. I actually sent the story over to Miss Lovey, and it was about a Miami Hurricanes football player who was killed 15 years ago.
What?
15 years ago, leaving football practice. I believe he was at his home, and he got shot in his head. So from that point on, it was pretty much a cold case. They could never figure out who did it. Now, throughout these 15 years, they've always, asked questions. They've been waiting on somebody to kind of slip up. Technology has advanced, stuff like that, but they had never got on to nothing. But I guess a lot of the players on the team kind of knew under the wraps who it was or had an idea who it was or who was with them that night. So they would always kind of hint to the police like, hey, it's this guy, it's that guy. But the police never had anything to like pin on him. So 15 years later, his family is finally receiving justice. That deserves a round of applause.
15 minutes later, they found out he killed
15 years later.
15 years, I mean.
So it's like he thought he got away, but it's crazy because when you break the story down, it was actually his homeboy who killed him. And then as they go deeper into the story, it's basically he killed him over a female. So your homeboy kill you over. I can see like now in my case, if it's your wife and it's like somebody violating her and it gets to that point, then that's different. But over a girlfriend, like what is this? Who is this girl?
15 years? I hope he was with her for the last 15 years.
I don't know.
If you killed
I don't know. If you're gonna go that far, you gotta be ready for the long run. Like you have to still be with her. Right?
You would think, but
you kill somebody with a female you wasn't gonna be with. I don't know. The details are still this. It just broke yesterday, so they just caught up to the guy. I mean, he wasn't going nowhere. He was still in Florida. He thought he got away with it. Well, I'm assuming he thought he got away with it. But the details are still developing. And I said all that just to say, like, you think you know who real. You really need to get to know some people and pay attention to the way they moving. If you talking to a female and your homeboy shooting at the female and you watching his kind of movements, like it's certain ways jealous people move. They not just sitting there looking at you enjoy yourself and like, oh, I'm so happy for y'all. I hope y'all kick it out. Like that ain't how jealous people move. But they sit in a certain way. They look in a certain way. They in and out of the conversation. Like pay attention to what's going on around you, right?
I mean, I don't know. I think people are getting good at being, I don't know, because we don't know. You can't really say because it's like all speculation. We don't know what happened or
when
what
you
the
see
story.
This, when you see this picture, like they actually have a picture where the team is kneeling down over a picture on the field of the guy who was killed. And when everybody's kneeling down looking at the picture, you see so much emotion in everybody's face except one person. One person just looking like, yeah, nigga. Yeah, it is what it is. And everybody else is like, damn, we just lost a brother.
Everybody grieves different, Boris.
Man, that man looked guilty in that picture.
Oh, you said he looked guilty in the picture. They probably found a picture for him to look guilty in so they can talk about how he did.
He the only person. But so you think they found the picture? That's probably the only picture they got of the team kneeling on the field like that.
Okay.
But I was saying all that to say it could be your own homeboy. It can go on for 15 years and nobody ever know who it is. It ain't no telling what he done did in that 15 years. But pay attention to the way some people acting, man.
I'm trying to figure out how he got caught.
Well, it just came out yesterday. I guess next week we're not doing the show. I'll tell y'all why in a second. But I guess by the time next week is here, we'll know a little more about the story.
Okay.
All right. So stay tuned till next week. Next week, the week after next. Next week we're not doing the show This is good news. I should be closing on the home. Man,
Congratulations, fellow
Yeah.
homeowner.
thank you. I just gotta say God is good because 2 weeks ago they told me I was gonna need $20,000 at closing. $20,000. But mind you, probably like I ain't never really just had major money problems. Like I might be broke now and I'm gonna be having I'm gonna have it on Friday here and there. But for the last at least, 15, 20 years, I made good money working. Like when I say good money, I mean enough money to enjoy myself and take care of all my bills. So I never really got to a point where I was trying to build up credit, and I didn't care about credit cards.
Right.
It was just more about I have the money to buy what I want. So when that time comes, I'll just buy it.
Right.
Even when they first came out with these family plans with AT&T, that's when I really had my first job, and I didn't really just have no bill. They offered me 2 phones. I didn't even have nobody to get the other phone too. I was just like, hey, I'm balling. They got the music out, talking about balling. They talking about having 2 phones. I had 2 phones, and I'm sitting up here just ruining my credit because by the time the new phone came out, I left this company and went and got the new phone here. So years and years down the line, I'm just running my credit into the ground, but I never really cared because my bread was good enough.
Yeah.
So fast forward, it's like I had got a house before years ago, and then fast forward to now, and I get into a new marriage, new relationship, and I'm getting ready to make the move towards getting a house, and my credit score ain't shit.
Right.
And you really don't realize like how important your credit score is until you really trying to buy something that you really want. Now, a car, you can work with the car because your payment will just be a little bit higher. But with the crash in the housing market years ago, it's like we not giving you no house unless you prove to us that
You can pay for it.
you can pay for it. And in the past, that's how people have been, with me, and I can prove that I can pay for it because I can just show you check stubs. I can show you what I'm getting every week. But now they were like, nah, we want to see that you're a responsible, person. You're responsible with your money. You take time and you pay attention to where your money going. So my credit score was like 550 or whatever when I first started looking at a house. And then I got with this one company that was just telling me whatever, just get your credit. They basically kept saying, just get your credit score up, get your credit score up. But they never wasn't really saying like, hey, you might want to focus on this right here, focus on that. So I got with this new company. And I'm not going to say, I'll say the name of the company when I get done. Because I don't want people like, hey, he told me about y'all. Nah, I'll tell y'all when I'm done. I'll tell y'all when I get back to my next show. But they literally picked apart everything that I have done in the last 10 years, 10 to 12 years, like credit cards, anything I didn't pay here or there. They said, hey, this is all the stuff you have on your credit.
Mm-hmm.
And they was like, hey, if you do this, you do that, you'll do that. When it comes to closing time, we'll get your closing costs down and pay off for all your credit at closing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I never knew of a company that would do that,
Yeah.
And it's like all the credit cards you got, we're gonna pay them down to zero when you close on the house, so you won't have any debt. Anything that you owe, like you didn't pay years ago, whether it was a light bill or something like that just hung around, we're gonna pay that down at closing. So they was like, but for us to do this, you have to pay some stuff off. So I'm like, all right, well, let me know what I need to pay off. So they told me like 7 or 8 different things, ranging from a couple hundred to a couple $1,000s that I need to pay off within 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
So I just started focusing and putting all my money towards, hey, I got to pay this off. I'm going to do what I got to do. At least if I don't get the house or if I don't move, my credit will be good. And then the next time I'll bounce back. Mm-hmm. But I was trying to get the FHA loan. You need a 620 for that. And I was a long way from 620. But I just started paying the stuff off. And anytime I paid something off, I sent it to them. And they said, all right, now this will be the next thing you need to pay to get your score higher. Mm-hmm. So I just kept doing that. Now I'm like, when I finally get ready to close on the house, I should be close to maybe 675, 700. Mm-hmm. And that's a long way from 550.
It is.
I was telling Lovey earlier, like I feel like my skin is getting lighter. As my credit score goes up. If I get to 800, I'm gonna be albino up in this thing. Like
Villalago head ass.
But focus on your credit, like I always looked at it as like it was just a standard they trying to keep us at. When if you got money, you got money. It is what it is. But now when you're playing with their money and you got the FHA loans and stuff, when you start playing with government money, they it's like, hey, we want to see you be a little more responsible. So now that I got this, I can't apply for no PPP loans. I can't take out any money right now. All they want me to do basically is buy stuff, I guess, to just build my credit, buy stuff and pay it off and get it up higher. So that's what I'm gonna keep doing. It feels good having a high credit score. I haven't used it as far as like I ain't got to the point where I'm going to a car dealership because in the past I went to car dealerships and anybody who knows me knows that the Dodge Charger was my car for years. Like I had the '08, the
I
'09,
know,
the 10,
nigga.
like almost every single color. I had two different grays, two different blues.
Black, yeah,
like
the blue one
that was my car. But even going to the dealership and they pulling up my credit score and it's like a 540. I'm paying damn near 700 for a car, but I wasn't tripping because I was making it. Like,
yeah.
But now it's like I'm getting my shit together,
right?
And now I can go in there, with a smile. I know I ain't gotta pay, that much for a car. Even though I wasn't tripping, it's like, and everything I'm saying, it's not me bragging on what I can do now. It's more about like a testament to God and to what He can do because I really wasn't educated on what I needed to do to get where I need to be, and with everything that's going on with the houses, like. And when I say everything that's going on, it's a lot of people out there looking for a house. So I'm just telling a little bit about the experience right now buying a house. You get your pre-approval. They give you your letter. That's your amount. You can pretty much go pick whatever house you want for that amount. Now, if you have $30,000 in the bank and they approve you for $270,000, if you want to do that, you can get you a $300,000 house. You'll just have to pay that extra $30,000 up front. So the hard part in that is this is what I kept running into at first. I would go find a house for the amount that I was approved for. And then whenever it comes time to buy a house, if the house is $300,000 and you got approved for $300,000, you can say, hey, I would like to, put a contract out on this house. But the way it works is that house may have 2 more weeks where they're accepting contracts. Now, back then, when I first bought my house, it was like, hey, you go pick your house. That's what you get. That's what you want. It wasn't nobody else, bidding on the house. But now it's to a point where they got 8, 9, up to 20 different offers on the house. And the person selling the house and basically say, I want the one who giving me the most money.
Right.
So when we first started searching for homes, that was our biggest problem. Because we were like, yeah, we got the money for this house. We want this house. Even houses that were less than what we got approved for. We was like, we don't need to have the biggest house just because we got approved for all this money. We just need to get what we need. We will find something what we need. We go tour the house. Then all of a sudden, hey, would you like to place an offer on the house? Yes, we kept placing offers. And somebody else would outbid us by $10,000 or $20,000.
It gets ugly out there.
Now that's for me that was like a negative thing. Like, damn, they bidding over on the house. But the way it's set up right now, and I don't know if this is something that's recently passed or how it's always been, the way it's set up right now is they make you do the appraisal.
Yeah, it's been like that.
And what I didn't know, like after the appraisal, that they was gonna basically whatever the house is worth, regardless of what you want to pay for it. Mm-hmm. Wherever the house is worth, that's what you're going to pay for it. Mm-hmm. It's not if the house is $300,000 and they get appraised for $275,000. If you got approved for $300,000, they're only gonna tell you like, hey, we're only paying $275,000 for this house. Now you as the buyer have the option to pay $275,000 for this house, or you and the seller can come in together and y'all can divide the $25,000 that's left, or you can just take up your earnest money and leave. I didn't know that it was that good. So we ended up bidding. We ended up saying, hey, we saw a house a long time ago. The house somebody else ended up getting the house first because they took the highest offer. Those people ended up not getting the house, and the house fell right back in front of us. So we went ahead and bid on the house, and we bid over, just to make sure we got it. Now somebody bid $18,000 higher than us, but my wife wrote a letter to the people who selling the home, basically telling them this is who we are. Our family loves this house. We're Christian. We feel like we can grow here, and the people took our offer. So fast forward to we basically looking at different houses in the area, so we can kind of gauge how much it would be appraised for, and it came pretty much down to the median what it said it was going to be appraised for, and it came down to that. Now we bid over that, so we had the option to keep it or to keep it at that price and pay the rest,
Just
but we
lock it
didn't even
in.
and we didn't even have to. The people's like, hey, we gonna pay it down. We gonna take it down. We gonna sell y'all this house. This is y'all's. We gonna take care of y'all because we promised to sell y'all this house, and we don't want y'all to back out because their last offer fell through, and they're waiting on their next house, so they can't
Right.
move until we move in. So it's
Right.
like God working again, making the situation complicated just so He can make it easier. So in the end, closing costs got all the way down. Monthly rent went down. Everything is just working so smoothly to the point where we're gonna be able to move smoothly. We could probably be to a point where we
Where's
can
your
buy all
brother
this
gonna
stuff.
stay?
I'm not sure. I know he plans on getting his own place, but he might stay with us for a little while. But I know he wants to get his own place, so he just basically saving up his money,
Oh,
kicking
okay.
back. So maybe he'll be up here. I think last time he wanted to argue with me about
I remember. It was funny.
this guy told me that racism was not a real word. That was his problem with what we was talking about that night. I don't know if everybody else understood and why I was like, "What, bro? You tripping?" He said racism is not a real word. I'm like,
No need to revisit that.
see, it's just certain people you can't play Pictionary with or taboo with
You
because
stupid.
if it ain't a real word, they ain't gonna never say it. You sitting up here, police beating on people. You saying all the right stuff, but he refused to say the word racism because he don't think it's a real word. So that's what we was arguing about that day. I don't know what makes a real word. What classifies anything as being a real word, but
Merriam-Webster.
is it in there? I thought it was.
I'm just saying.
I think Webster know.
I'm pretty sure Webster is
I'm pretty sure it's in every Webster.
Merriam and them.
So yeah, that's basically what it is. G5 just hit me up. Let's see what he's talking about. All right, bet. G5 might pull up.
Boy, we didn't tell him the show almost over. We're talking about what he finna pull up. I texted him 2 hours ago, so he need to cut the shit out. He probably still all the way on the south side.
It's all good. He said what I need. I got you, G5. I'm gonna text you back right after this. Yeah, but basically those are the things I want to talk about today. Be on the lookout for you. If you think it's your homeboy, do a little more investigation. Like get to know people. See what they're about. See what kind of history they got. Y'all, it's great to be cool. It's great to be partners. It's great to play basketball together and get to know each other's families, but get to know what type of person you're dealing with, because you never know. And then you have your family wondering for 15 years, who could have done it. So next time we come back, we'll figure out how they figured out who did it, whether it was a DNA or something resurfaced. Hopefully, if you see keep the people that's in Afghanistan in your prayers. Everything that they got going on, it's a crazy world. Keep the whole world in your prayers. Haiti is going down in Haiti. It's the pandemic. I believe they just got an earthquake or something. Haiti, just keep Haiti in your prayers. Man, keep the United States. The whole West Coast has pretty much been burning. So man, just pray for everybody, man. Cool, Lovey, and we pray for everybody.
That's what we should do.
That's what we should do. Anything else, Miss Lovey? Any announcements? I will be hosting a comedy show coming up here soon. I know this show is going to be on 324 FM 1960 Road. At the end of the month, the last Friday and Saturday of the month, I believe it's 2 nights. I'm gonna be hosting there. On September I usually have my dates down packed, but I don't want to say the wrong dates. I've been filling out so many documents. On September the 18th, I'll be at the Hideout. Is that what it's called?
I don't know. We're still under investigation.
We're gonna figure out all the details, but I'm hosting the Post Magazine 4th anniversary party. I know it's gonna be a good group of people here. The media stuff sold out and tickets are already selling. The next few weeks after next week, I will be doing interviews here. So I got a list of artists that'll be performing on the magazine at the magazine release that's gonna come through and talk about what they got going on, and we're gonna offer some Love to Jam services to them as well. Um, that's pretty much it. We got Rip the Mic coming up on the 25th too. Is it Rip the Mic?
Yeah, Rip the Mic. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
gonna be the 25th though. The date is up in the air. I'm
No,
trying.
you said it was you thought it was the 18th, but when you posted
No,
the flyer,
it was the 18th. He changed it to the 25th, and then he said, "Hold on, let me see."
All right.
So, because we're doing a location change.
I didn't know we did the hold on.
I know, but I didn't want to tell everybody our business.
Are we trying to get to the north side, or what are we doing?
We're gonna be on the north side if I have anything to do.
Do you already have the spot?
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool.
Come on now.
I was just making sure. I know we got a spot on the north side, but just in case somebody booked it for that night, because you know they do get booked. I got a backup spot just in case. I think that's pretty much it. If you have the opportunity to get the vaccine and you don't have any pre-existing conditions,
this is Boris's personal opinion.
This is my personal opinion.
Thank you.
If you have the opportunity to get the vaccine and you don't have any health complications, go ahead and get it because it will reduce your symptoms when catching COVID.
Allegedly.
Not
the Delta course. That almost killed me, but hey.
Were you vaccinated?
I got it from somebody that was vaccinated.
Oh, the person gave it to you was vaccinated? So how do you prevent that?
You can't. That's the whole point. It's purposeless to get.
What if you always wear a mask?
It don't matter.
What if you vaccinated and they vaccinated?
It doesn't matter. You still carrying the Delta version, which is mutated because of the vaccination.
But it's not. They're not saying that if you get vaccinated you won't carry it. They're saying if you get vaccinated, then there's a less chance that you will die from it or experience
die from original COVID. But once you get the vaccine, the COVID mutates and it's like a different version, the Delta version, which is worse, which there is no way to avoid it. Once you have it, you fucking have it. It's basically COVID with pneumonia, which is what I had. So that's why I said, like...
But my grandmother had COVID with pneumonia before they started talking about this.
Yeah,
Delta
I mean,
stuff.
It comes with it too, but I'm saying that was the focus of the Delta variant. That's what they were saying. But it's worse than the original COVID. It's not the same strand. It's not the same
it's worse. So just
there's nothing. Do what you can do, y'all. Do what you can do. Goddamn.
Do your research. Pay attention to what you were taught in biology in the beginning, which is if there's a virus out there and you don't control it, it will begin to mutate. And by controlling it, the only thing you can do is get most people vaccinated. Now, if you're choosing not to get the vaccination because it's only been out for a year and there's not enough research behind it, I completely understand that. A lot of stuff that's in there, we don't know what we're allergic to. Luckily, I'm one of them people who I'm not really allergic to a lot of stuff. I can rub up against poison ivy and it won't affect my skin. Not that I'm just out here rubbing up. Let me just made a face like I'm just out here rubbing up on trees and shit. No, it's just I've been playing with people and we was around poison ivy and I had actually got it up on me and minutes later everybody else was itching and breaking out and I was still good and I was the main one in the bush. But it is what it is. Y'all be safe out here. If you're not going to get vaccinated, wear your mask, especially if you're around people who are vaccinated. Because I do think the people that are vaccinated are carrying it stronger. Like I think if I'm vaccinated and you're not and we walk past the same person with COVID, I think I'm carrying it stronger than them because it's more likely going to fall off of you or you might catch it, but I'm holding on to it, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that's why they pushing more people to get vaccinated because it is those people who are vaccinated because we're just stronger. So versus it just bouncing off of us or having that possibility, it's actually sticking to us. So just be safe. Do what's best for you and your family. Don't listen to this president. I mean, not the president. Don't listen to this governor in Texas. I don't know what he got going on. Do what's best for your family. I get a list every single day from my child's school of, the entire district sends us a list of what school a child had COVID, what grade they were in, and the last time they were on campus. And they do this every single day. And every day, originally we thought we got it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And the first 2 days, I thought like, well, maybe they just updating the list and adding another student to it so they can compile a whole list. Every day they sending out a different list. to the point where it's the staff members, like it'll say what school, it'll say if they was a student or staff, and it'll tell you the last day they was on campus. So every day we getting a new list basically saying, hey, yesterday this student was on campus and they had COVID. Then the next day, and it's like a list of like 50 names on here. So each day, no matter what, 50 people in the district gonna go home with COVID. So in 2 weeks, well, not even in 13 days, the majority, you're gonna have the most people out of school that have been out of school, simply because you're sending 50 people home every day.
Well, what they supposed to do, boys?
They doing what they supposed to do.
Oh, okay.
But are you thinking 13 days down the line when 50 people have from the district has gone home each day because they have to stay home for 2 weeks?
I just don't understand what you want them to do.
Is there you gotta at least, I don't know. I thought they was making people wear masks for the most part.
They're
like
kids.
Exactly. So
I'm saying, kids are fucking.
I think these
kids,
parents need to take more responsibility and teach their kids.
Okay. I don't know. I don't have kids with COVID or nothing like that.
We done been through school. We've been through school. I'm sure we can teach our kids what was taught to us. If you can't teach your kid what was taught to you, then you probably need to slow down with your life. Right? It's like you can't teach your kid how to add. Adding didn't just come out. We've been adding for a long time. A lot of stuff they looking at in books. Oh, G5 calling right now. A lot of stuff they looking at in books, like we was looking at when we was little. So we might have forgot some stuff. We don't gonna remember everything, but a lot of stuff that they're learning in school, when school is out, it's time for us to teach these kids. Because a lot of us that were out were also off work. So how was you utilizing your time? Was you partying, enjoying the money, enjoying the benefits, or was you taking time to teach your kids each day? It might get boring, but the teacher's been bored all year. It's the only year you got to teach your kid in their life, other than what you already been doing. By teaching your kid, you're investing in yourself. What better way to spend your money than investing in your future by investing in your kids, right? What else we gonna do out here? We all can't be big time rappers. We all can't be the funniest comedian in the world like me.
Right.
I'm just tooting my own horn. I need a lot of practice after last night, y'all. I'm glad a lot of y'all wasn't there because I didn't struggle on stage, but I really saw how my mind be all over the place, and I had fun. So I'm really gonna have fun being all over the place in this next comedy journey. But yeah, Zombie Arrow, make sure you support that. Love the Jam is bringing new podcasts. Franchise Music TV is making a strong return. You know it's real when he calling me. So be on the lookout for that. And we're gonna get you're gonna see a lot of, not too much traffic, but you're gonna see a lot of different faces coming through and doing their interviews and practicing these safety protocols and growing this thing we call music. Continue to pray for everybody, pray for the team. We getting stronger. If you're looking for a spot on the team, reach out to somebody on the team and we can talk some numbers. Is there anything else, Miss Lovey?
No, sir. We just real with Rillos over here.
All right, let's get it. www.love2jamradio.com. See y'all.